Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast,
De-Influenced.
Guys, we have special guests today. Today on the pod, we have Landon and Liv.
Hey, not only that, Olivia Austin.
Olivia Austin.
Not to be confused with the other Olivia Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The other Olivia Austin is...
Well, tell us about you as Olivia Austin first. We need to know, why is your Instagram handle Olivia Austin?
Yeah, why'd you do that? So eager.
Because I was just too excited. So I got on there and
she wanted to lock him in.
I had to lock it in.
To be fair, she did that on like our third date, so it was weird.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just had to test it out.
She's like, surprise. Really though?
Okay, so... Sorry. So Nikki, I think it's either Nikki or Jenny. We were all sitting there one day in the Divvy office, and we were talking about how there's an adult actress with the same name, Olivia Austin. That's probably not her actual name.
When you say adult actress, are we talking about like adult
Porn star.
Okay.
If you look on Instagram and type her name in,
It's
maybe
she's
don't do
a
that,
sexy
but
mama.
She's
Okay.
on there,
Okay.
yes, and she's very popular.
I've
very
honestly
famous.
never seen her.
That's a good thing.
Landon,
good.
you don't
I've
know.
never seen her. I've never Googled her anything, I promise.
Okay,
That's
he's
all
a
right.
keeper. That's good.
Okay, don't Google.
Okay.
But anyway, so they just started talking about how they probably could go ahead and secure the name. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome if you can do it. And then they were able to reach out to Instagram and do it. But I guess Instagram immediately did it instead of like holding the name till after
of
we
course.
got married. And then so I literally saw it one day, like the next day, and I was just like, well,
okay. Well, anyone who creates content understands it is like impossible to get Instagram handles. So if you have like a slight chance of getting the one that you want, like you take it. Girl, I
Yeah.
would do the same thing. Except for I didn't change my last name after we got married.
True, still
So,
hasn't legally.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How weird is
oh, you
that?
never changed it legally?
I never
No.
changed it. I'm still Keely Danielle Austin.
She's
but
a
I always
hardcore
go,
feminist.
I asked her and I was like, will you change your last name to my last name? I was like, my last name's better than
I will
yours.
say our last name's Austin.
It's a strong name.
And the water's warm if you want to become an Austin.
I
a strong
tried.
name.
He was very offended.
I was very offended by
Apparently,
that.
like when we got married, there were a lot of like feminists doing that. Like
Really?
getting, where their husbands were taking their last name. I wasn't trying to be feminist. I was just honestly trying to have like a cute last
Why don't
name.
we compromise and do Jordan Ramirez hyphen Austin?
I know. Well, oh yeah.
You know, I have
Yeah.
a buddy from college who did that. Him and his wife, they hyphenated. They both have names that are
Wow,
hyphenated.
Is
that's
that-
equality right there.
That
Yeah.
is
We could do
true
that.
definition of equality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I actually really like the last name Ramirez too. So I'll probably change
Ramirez.
it one day. Sorry, it's Ramirez in this family.
Ramirez.
We roll our R's.
I can't roll my R's.
Well, we're so excited that y'all are here. Liv, I just want to know, what's our family like?
So true.
When you come into our family
Y'all are-
and you like experience this for the first time, what was it like?
Well, y'all are obviously very fun and exciting, but also y'all honestly are all super down to earth and just very welcoming.
You don't have to be nice.
And
I
very-
know. I was like,
honest.
who's got a gun to
You
her head?
are though, because I feel like you see like on Instagram like all this crazy
Yeah.
stuff, but then like the first time we met y'all that weekend, or I met you guys that weekend in Nashville, was just like super laid back and calm. But then once we started going on trips, that's when stuff got crazy.
Okay, what do you mean by crazy?
Like dressing up as Oompa Loompas.
That's true.
What else have we done?
Your family doesn't do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Only on Halloween.
Yeah, would you say what's the biggest learning curve? Like hanging out with us? Like,
Yeah.
is it weird like being filmed and being on camera and then my mom is like an influencer? Like
Yeah,
a
that's
grainy
gotta
influencer.
be odd.
I think at first being on camera was like kind of a shock, and took me a while to like not try to be perfect or not like be like on, or like
Yeah.
especially not wearing makeup on camera, and like, you know, like, because I'd never really done that.
Yeah.
Like been on Instagram and talked on stories. Like I never did that before.
Yeah.
Did you follow our family before you met Landon?
Good
I
question.
yes, I knew about you before
Really?
How long?
Landon. Probably like in college.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
When you were in college?
Yeah.
Do you remember like the post, or I always ask people this, I'm like, what post did you see that made you follow? I'm just curious.
Oh, I have no idea.
You know, right?
I have no idea.
Did you follow with like the hair loss journey?
I think after that.
After that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was bald every year of high school.
It was,
Like
oh
a
my
cue
gosh,
ball.
it was
Start
just
in
for
high
1 year
school?
I was bald. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Did you watch The Matchmaker?
No.
Wow.
But I had heard of it. And I feel like all of my friends did, because when we first started dating, that weekend I was in Nashville. We went on our first date, and then I went on a bachelorette party that weekend. And the girls I had rode in the car with, the one driving, she was asking about it and was like, I was so invested.
No way. You never
Yeah.
told me that.
Yeah, I didn't want to make your head big.
Good call, Liv. Good call.
Yeah.
What did your friends think about like going on a date with Landon if they had already seen The Matchmaker?
They were just like, how was he? Like, how was he in person? Did you like him? Like, nothing crazy.
Nothing
They were
crazy.
just asking like how he is. And
Did your friends think it was like a good idea to go on a date with Landon?
yeah.
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 So,
So
The
I think-
Matchmaker painted him in a good light?
My bad boy
Oh,
reputation
absolutely. I ran that show, and I made you a hero.
We put like the slow-mo music. Like,
Yeah, he was a hero.
I've always
He was
thought
the
of,
most
you know-
eligible bachelor in Nashville after that show.
Is that right? Yeah.
didn't. Kind of a badass in certain circles.
Yeah. I feel like that kind of made me nervous to go on a date with you though,
Yeah.
because you're so experienced.
What? I'm not experienced.
You're so experienced with dating.
I was
Yeah.
in 2 online dating shows.
How many girlfriends have you had?
Yeah, how many?
I don't know. I
Let me
mean,
just
you
say,
could count them.
since you met Liv,
Just live.
when you were
Okay,
just,
good. That's another good sign.
Yeah.
when Landon was out dating, it was the subject of every conversation in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
because, like,
it took
come
so much
on.
heat off of us, your singleness.
Yeah.
And so now that you guys are together and happy, the heat's kind of back on us. Like
That's
we
right.
get all the opinions again.
The way it should be.
I have to say, the reason I was so invested in Landon's love life is because I knew I was going to be close with this person.
Yeah.
And I don't have like a lot, like I don't have a sister, like I don't have like cousins my age. So I was like, I got to have a hand in this. So that's why I was so invested. But I mean, like, look what turned out. He found the best one without me.
Worth the wait. The winner, I think, of the ultimate matchmaker right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Final rose right
The final
here.
Well
rose.
said.
You know, though, I feel like you never talk about that. Like, if I ever bring it up,
was a
like,
dark
he's always
time.
like, yeah, no, it's nothing.
That was a former life.
talk
The
about
matchmaker?
Yeah. No, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. If you want to see it, you can watch it
It's a
online.
show.
Yeah.
It's a show.
It's
Would
all.
you ever have done it a third time? Did y'all try to get him to do it a third time?
No, never.
No, we
again.
were like, we felt,
We were
desperate.
done.
we were like, it's too much.
That's too desperate.
We were like, even we didn't want to paint him in that light.
The only reason we did it twice is because the first time we did it last minute in Dallas, and I didn't live in Dallas,
Yeah.
so it didn't make sense. And obviously the girls on it were great, but what am I going to date some girl who lives halfway across the country?
Yeah.
So we did it a year
Well,
later
you
in
kinda did
Nashville.
that.
Well, the point being, we did it again in Nashville so I could meet someone in Nashville, and that was great. She was great, but it didn't work out.
You know what's so crazy about filming the second matchmaker? I was the same week pregnant as I am now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But I was so...
Are you sure? I think you were more pregnant.
No, I was like really early and we hadn't told anyone. And that's why this episode is sponsored by Bongesta.
Oh, your new medicine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
Tell them
feeling-
about that, because Danny's like out of bed. She's kind of a new human being right now.
Yeah, I just always look back and I'm like, was every pregnancy like this? And I was like, no, I was filming The Matchmaker when I was I'm like 9 weeks pregnant now. Anyway, I've been in bed all week. This is the only reason I've gotten out of bed literally all week. But yesterday I went to the doctor and they prescribed me this medication called Bongesta. And it's basically Unisom, like a sleep tablet, and B6, like compounded. And it apparently there's some transmitter in your brain that it just like turns off so you don't feel nausea anymore. The only downside is you get really sleepy. So, but we're here.
I need that for later.
My eyes are like, we're here. Okay, so I want to know, how did y'all meet? Like, what was your first date?
Well, we met on Hinge,
Yeah.
the dating app,
Okay.
and
I sent her a rose. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Really? The
We're
physical
too old
rose.
for Hinge.
Yeah,
We were
you guys-
Tinders.
you guys are old. I
Tinder
forgot.
people.
Oh, I thought you meant like a physical rose.
No. So they have these virtual roses that you can buy. And I'd never sent someone a rose. And I sent her a rose. And what that means is your image and profile it skips the line. And I was the only Hinge date she ever went on. So if I didn't buy that rose, she might have gone on 20 other Hinge dates and found someone else. But it was worth the 99 cents.
What
Oh my
made
gosh,
you
nice.
both want to get on Hinge at that time? Because you were new to the platform, right?
yeah,
Okay, so why was it the season where you were like, you know what, I'm pulling the trigger, I'm getting on Hinge?
Good question.
I feel like it was a God thing because I feel like I was like not wanting to date for like several months, and then I was like, I want to date and I want to download it because where I was at the time was Evansville, Indiana, which is not a good dating scene, and I also knew I was going to move back to Nashville because for the time being I was in Evansville for probably like 5 or 6 months, but yeah, I don't know. It just felt like I had prayed about it for months, and then I felt like I was just ready to like try to find someone, and then like very shortly after I downloaded it is when we met or matched.
It was pretty awesome because first off, I didn't know. When we matched, she said she lived in Nashville. So
Well, I didn't tell you I lived in Nashville.
Well, it
The
said
setting
lives
was,
in Nashville.
Was
Yeah.
set to Nashville.
it was set to Nashville. So I asked for her, or I sent her a DM. She responded, whatever. And immediately I was like, send me your number. I want to call you. So she sent me her number and I called her to ask her out. She's like, oh, I don't live in Nashville. I'm like, well, why are you on the Nashville geolocation Hinge? She's like, but I'm a flight attendant, so I come through Nashville from time to time. And so next time I come through, I'd love to go out. So a month later, we hadn't really talked. And a friend of mine, I had told these girls that I was friends with about Liv, how I thought she was amazing and wanted to take her out. And they asked me, like, whatever happened with that girl? And I was like, oh, I need to call her. So I called her. She's like, I'll be in Nashville tomorrow. And so we went out.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
How long was
fortuitous.
y'all's first conversation on the phone?
Not very long because I was actually about to
10
get on a
minutes?
flight.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I was like in the airport.
And for 9 of those minutes, I thought you lived in Nashville. So I'm like setting up for the date for the weekend, asking what she likes. She's like, oh, I don't live there.
Oh gosh.
So, and to be clear, when he called, you've already disclosed this, when he called, you knew who Landon was
from Instagram, you mean?
from Instagram, right?
Yeah. Did you Google
Well,
him?
also he had a picture of you on his Hinge.
Oh,
I did?
wow.
Yeah.
Using me for the
gotta-
clickbait,
You got to
man.
use whatever
Wow.
advantages you got, you know?
Oh, gosh.
is incredible. That was strategic and so smart, and I commend
You have
you
a
for
certain
that.
demographic. I don't hate it.
Do you still have your Hinge profile?
No, I deleted it. We got rid of that.
You should try to look it up.
No, I like deleted the account. I am messing around. It's gone.
It's like Danny, Marty, and you. It's like, oh my gosh, Danny Austin's sister and has a
Stella.
golden retriever. Yeah,
Holding Stella. Oh my gosh, he's going to be such a good father.
Well, they say there's certain things you want on your dating profile. I've heard some things through the grapevine. You want to have a picture of you with a baby. You want to have a picture of you in a suit and a picture of you in mixed company so girls know you're not intimidating because other girls can tolerate you. And then the girls, for whatever reason, love when you have a picture where you're looking away. So you're just like looking off to the side.
Wow.
Right now.
I'm serious.
I am
Are there like
dying.
services that optimize your dating
I was out
profile?
there for a long time, okay?
It was trial and
I
error.
researched this.
You A/B tested this.
I A/B tested all this. Those images in that order worked perfectly. Exhibit A.
So he calls you and you're like, oh my gosh, that's Danny's brother from the matchmaker. And then you tell your friends. And then were you planning, like if he hadn't have followed up, would you have texted him to follow up?
No, because she
don't
told
think
me she was going to let me know when she's coming through Nashville
Yeah.
next. Well, literally a month later went by. I never heard from her. And I called her and she's like, I'll be there tomorrow. So she was not planning to tell me. It
So
wasn't
you
happening.
you double called.
Oh, I definitely double called. I probably double texted too. What are you doing? And not to mention the first time I messaged her, it took her 3 days to respond.
Wait, what was that all about?
I think because I had never been on Hinge in just, I don't know. Like
The longest 3 days of my life.
You honestly were like technically like my very first date ever, if you don't consider like the very first date. Sorry. The very first date I ever went on because like I had just never really been on a first date like that.
Yeah.
Like everyone I'd ever dated, I had met through like high school or like elementary school and then college.
So you didn't do any like online dating shows or anything or on Instagram? No? Okay.
How
Wait,
many
y'all need
boyfriends
to-
did you have before Landon?
2.
2.
Two. Okay, so
Like 2
what
long-term relationships.
what were your exes like? And is Landon like your exes?
And what are their names and where they live? I'm kidding.
And what is their social security number?
No, I think that they're very different from Landon in the best way possible. But they were both very great people. I feel like we had just like, the first one was in high school and we had kind of like grown up as like best friends, and it was kind of just like a best friends thing and just never like went on from there. But
Yeah, Liv grew up on a farm in Kentucky, and so this like a farmhand you fell in love with.
Or I was like,
something?
what did
No,
you
he
do?
wasn't
Like
farmers.
when you were a child, she's like played outside. Me and like Landon are like, whoa.
like they live on a farm. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Look,
Okay.
growing up, our nature was the hill next to our house,
Yeah.
which is like a plot of grass that had a hill. We're like, we're going to hang on the hill. And we do it every day in the summer, like just on our little hill.
You just roll down the hill. It's like 2 feet.
So itchy. I hated it.
It was itchy.
Okay, go on about the
Hey,
farm.
I did that too.
Yeah, but you had like nature and acres and wildlife.
Yeah.
So,
So what was your other ex-boyfriend like?
He was great too. We met in college, and very sweet, adventurous, but it just didn't work out. But Landon was just like, he's a man. Like Landon's a man.
Whoa.
To be fair, I get the
Oh
lot.
gosh,
I
now
get
he's
the
gonna have
lot.
a big head after
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, we can't make you have a bigger head.
Okay, keep going.
But yeah, he was just so much different in many ways. Like you just have a lot of characteristics that people that I dated in the past didn't have. And
Are you talking about like decisiveness, leadership?
Big hands.
all the above. Yes,
I
like
like literally can't.
very
She says it all the time. She loves my hairy arms. I guess they were hairless. I don't know what they were, but yeah.
She's like, my last
Yeah.
boyfriend shaved his whole body.
It's like a naked mole rat.
because you're like tall, like dark hair, handsome.
Yeah.
Not that the other
Tallest
ones
guy she
weren't,
dated. No
but
big deal.
I don't
Keep
know.
going.
Like I feel like you're exactly who I pictured myself being with, but somehow
Hey, you too.
That's so sweet.
Winner of the
Wow.
ultimate
Oh my
matchmaker
gosh.
right here.
Well, so speaking of which, I want to talk about the age gap. What were your thoughts when you found out he was how many years older? 7, 8 years older?
is it 9?
9
Nine
years?
right now.
9 years older.
There's
It's
a
9?
week where it's only 8 years.
Okay, just a week.
Are y'all being serious right now?
Yeah.
Really?
It doesn't seem like
Guys,
it, does
this is
it?
news to me.
You don't know
That's-
they're 9 years apart?
No.
Okay.
I always knew that
I
Landon,
don't
like,
Hey, it's
it
working.
was going to take a while for him
I'm
to
pro
mature.
9 years, but this is hitting me very hard right now.
Age
Like,
is
I just never
irrelevant
did
to
the
me.
math.
It's irrelevant. The only part where it's a hang up for me is there's some movie references that she has no clue. Like The Sixth Sense has no clue what happens at the end. Don't spoil it for her. I'm trying to get her to watch it.
Oh my
She'd
gosh.
never seen Armageddon.
That's crazy.
Like there's so many like small cultural musical artists or movies that just pass her radar. Also, she grew up on a farm, so I don't know about the electricity situation.
Oh my gosh.
But a lot of those references she misses. I can show her any movie. She's never seen it.
That is so crazy. Were you intimidated?
I don't think so. No.
I don't know why. Like, I could never have dated someone that was like 9. I would have been so intimidated.
Do you know on Hinge their age?
Yeah.
Do you? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you knew.
I could see it.
Going
What was
in.
your age range set to then?
I think 34 or 35.
Wow. So
Oh,
I was
wow.
34 at the time. So I was right
You
there. At the
almost
space.
Oh,
I feel like men in their 30s are more mature.
Yeah.
That's just
That's true.
Yeah, that's
true.
factual.
That's facts.
Yeah.
So my question for you, Landon, is like, I mean, we went through a couple relationships. You know, I remember our team one time after the matchmaker was like, oh my gosh, I love this person. They're the one. And I go, she's not going to make it to Thanksgiving. Like I just knew.
Yeah,
right. And
that's
so
right.
I was always
not
wondering
because
like,
it was anything wrong with her. It was just the compatibility.
Compatibility.
it was just the compatibility.
Right.
Like, you know, and so, but you are so sure about Liv.
Yes.
What happened? What was like the difference? What was the moment? Was it like right time? Was it finding the perfect person? Because we would always lecture you and say, hey, the perfect person doesn't
Right.
exist. We thought you were too picky.
Yeah.
So what
No,
happened?
I mean, you ever heard that expression that guys wait for it's girls wait for the right guy, guys wait for the right time. It's a little bit of that, but I knew when I met Liv, I'd never met anyone like her. And so my mind was in fertile soil to finally meet someone. And then I found this amazing seed right here. And I just knew, I knew within like an hour on our first date. I was like, oh, this
Really?
is it. Game over. Like I just knew. And like there's a culmination of who she is as a person, her heart for God. Like she's beautiful and she's funny and fun. And I just enjoy being with her. And obviously I'd found some of those elements with other people. But I'm thankful I met her now, because if I would have met her 10 years ago, I would have said, oh, there's more out there. And I've been out here. There's not. Like, I've been in the desert for a long time.
Wow.
And I finally found.
Were you starting to feel lonely?
I've always been a little lonely. Aren't we all? Oh.
He starts crying.
Honestly, no.
Like,
I'm always a tortoise.
Yeah.
When did you know that Landon was the one?
I feel the same way. I feel like on our first date, I was like, okay, like, I feel like this is going to go somewhere.
Didn't you text your friends? You just showed me this recently.
Yeah, I think I texted my friends like,
Yeah, you want to pull that text up? What'd you say again?
no, I probably don't have it anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, I felt like very strong feelings about you. Like nothing went bad about the date. Like I thought it went great. And then, yeah, I feel like I knew pretty early on.
Yeah. Yeah. It just fit.
What was your first impression of meeting my parents? Specifically
I'm trying
Tornado.
to think. The first time we met was actually on a vacation. We went to Utah. And she was just so fun, welcoming, like just normal.
Normal day one, y'all doing workouts in the kitchen with like bags of rice.
Yeah, we were.
Like normal to an extent when it comes to Tornado.
Yeah. No, it was just super fun, laid back.
Okay, the thing about Liv and our parents, she loves our parents, which is awesome and a huge blessing. But she really loves our dad, and he loves that she loves him.
Yes.
She's literally said to me and to him that he's the funniest person in our family.
Dad
so
is
funny.
very goofy. I don't know
Yeah.
if he's funny. He's just a very goofy guy. He's always been that way. But the reason why you think he's so funny is because we've heard the jokes 80 million times, and you're hearing them for the first time. And I remember when I was like, the first time I heard his jokes, I was like, oh, he's funny. Then the seventh time, I was like, okay, Dad.
Well, what about that story of getting the oil change the other day? You love this.
He's just so funny. Like he just says crazy stuff, and I'm like, that just happened to you? And he's like, yeah. Like he said, you want to tell a story?
Well, she was telling you this story that Dad was talking to her while me and Mom were working on some stuff, and Dad comes in. He's like, oh, Anna Marie has no idea what I've been doing all day. She's here filming her outfits, and I've been like fighting out here. So he went to take her car to get an oil change. Have you heard this?
No.
And so when he gets there, they tell him it's gonna be like $100 or whatever, $50. And he said, okay, that's great. I got my Amex. They said, that's good. And so an hour goes by, and they said, I'm sorry, Mr. Austin, we finished your car, but we can't take credit cards right now. The machine broke. And he said, okay, well, this is all I have. They're like, well, you need to figure out another way to pay us. And he's like, this is it. Like you said, I could use my credit card an hour ago, and now I can't. So Dad literally runs behind the counter, grabs his keys, and runs out the store.
That is
As the employees chase him into the parking lot, and he's like, Anna Marie's got no idea what I've been doing out here. So he runs in his car and closes the door and drives off as the employees are like running after him.
According to him.
that is such a false
And
story.
He said he left a check on the counter and just bolted with his keys.
Okay, I could see that.
Oh, totally.
Dad's now, okay, great. Now we're outing our dad as a criminal.
It was the Midas on Coit.
that I could actually see that. Wow. Well, welcome to the family.
Well, didn't Jordan take a dance class?
Just two.
It's true. I did.
He did.
What dance class?
Four hip hop classes.
And all he learned was the Macarena.
No, all he learned was a
yourself?
side tap.
Yes.
Side
You know,
tap.
I was about to be a dad. I was confused. I had an identity crisis.
Can I actually tell you the real story? TikTok had just come out, and he was about to be a dad, but all the TikTok dancers like Addison Rae and all those girls.
Bryce
So
Hall.
like we're like, you know, we're in the depths of being content creators. Like we have to find our competitive advantage. And Jordan's like, babe, we're gonna have to learn how to dance.
I truly did. I
Like,
thought this.
literally.
And you know, when TikTok first came out, like they would put these amazing clipped songs with these cool dances, and I was like, I want to be this.
And
I was bought
also
in.
on our first date, Jordan always told me that his alter ego would be like a hip hop dancer.
I thought he was
For
going to
real.
be a beat maker.
Yeah, that's who our DJ wasn't it? No, it was a
They
beat
kind of
maker.
go hand in hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose, I would be a break dancer from Step Up. Two is where they take it to the streets.
Movies.
Oh,
She
the
knows
streets are
stuff
better.
up.
Yes,
That was
or
like
Stomp
my
the Yard.
favorite.
I've talked about this. Those are the two best breakdancing movies. If we have that girl from the TikTok cult, I would love to talk to her about how breakdance movies are just not seeing the light of day anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
they
a
really
shame.
aren't.
Man,
There's a hole in the market right now.
That's
There's
a
a hole in the
conversation for
market.
another
Yeah.
day. But so he, every Thursday at like noon, he would disappear and I wouldn't know where he was. And I'm like, this is getting so weird, you know? And so like the third Thursday and I'm like, babe, where have you been? Like you're gone I just knew something's going on. He's like, babe.
That was with Phil.
Just watch.
I just,
Turn down the lights.
I really did do that. After the fourth, I go, babe, I really want to show you.
Can I just show y'all what he showed me? Like, I'm not kidding you. I don't
know. Phil might not want to share his proprietary moves.
What he showed me. I know you probably can't see.
That's 4 lessons in.
Stop. You never learned anything past that.
Dude, honestly, I cannot believe that I did this. Now I'm like,
It was
my
so
mind
cute.
has almost blocked out that era. Like, I literally found this guy on Thumbtack.
Yeah,
he was
Really?
the only breakdancing coach on Thumbtack. I go and meet him at this random dance studio in
That's what I love about Jordan, though.
Addison.
y'all?
Yes.
No, yeah, I didn't even know.
And he would just like I cannot believe I did this.
It's
He
so
would like
cringy.
literally put on music and he would just be like, there you go, you got it.
You got it, buddy. He's like, I'm trying to learn for TikTok.
I was so committed though. Like I was so committed.
I respect that.
It's really cute.
That's amazing.
That's one thing about Jordan is like, he's never embarrassed to do anything. Like, I'm like, you did that? And he's like,
No, honestly, this is the first time in a long time I've felt embarrassed about that. Like before I was like, yeah, it didn't work out, but like I tried. So like, what did you try? No.
It's so cute.
Yeah. But wow.
That's so fun. Maybe we should.
That
do
was hard
that.
to go back
Like,
to.
take
I
a
think
break
your
dancing
next
class.
reel is a solo dance show for Jordan.
Should we reach out to Phil though?
No, Phil's like blown up now. I gave him a lot of SEO tips for his Thumbtack. And he literally texted me like a year later and was like, dude, my business exploded after what you told me about Thumbtack.
Oh my gosh. That is
man.
hilarious. Okay, so moving on, we like to de-influence people on our podcast. I want to talk more about Liv. Where are you from? And we kind of touched on this, but what was your childhood like?
I'm from Henderson, Kentucky.
Okay.
It's like border Evansville, Indiana. It's 2 hours away from Nashville.
Okay.
And I had a very fun childhood. I grew up in a cul-de-sac, not on a farm. On like
a farm on a
golf
How
course.
many acres did you grow up on? Do you remember?
I lived in like a neighborhood.
Are you lying this whole time? She didn't actually live on a
I'm
farm?
trying to tell you guys. Okay, so my grandparents live on a couple acres,
Yeah.
I think around like 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
a
have
farm.
like 4-wheelers and
Yeah. You spent time there.
yeah, we always were there. It was like a mile away from my house, but we didn't have like farm animals or anything.
Right.
But
So
You
you,
had a
can
normal-
milk a cow.
no.
Got it.
Okay. So
can't.
did you have, tell us about your siblings.
Okay, so I have an older sister, 5 years older, a younger sister, 5 years younger, and we're all super close. But being 5 years apart, like we always had separate friend groups, which was really fun. But we would always hang out, and we had friends in the neighborhood we would hang out with. Just like a very normal childhood, very fun,
Yeah.
and
Are you close with your sisters now?
super close. I feel like we're more close than ever right now.
I find that with that age gap, because 5 years is kind of hard. Like you are I'm going into high school, Dan's leaving high school. You're going into elementary school, they're leaving, or not elementary, like whatever it is, high school, college. But I feel like as you get older, it gets easier. Because when you're 5 years apart as a kid, there's totally different stages.
For sure.
So that's really sweet. Where did you go to college?
Western Kentucky University. It's like an hour from Nashville.
That's a small school?
It's fairly small.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
What
know
did
how
you
many
study?
students. Fashion merchandise.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
So what was like your dream as a little girl? What did you want to be?
She's like an Amazon influencer.
Exactly what I'm doing now.
Came out the womb. No, I wanted to be a veterinarian. And we were just talking about this recently,
Yeah.
actually. Like, I loved animals. Like, I loved all the neighborhood animals, too. Like, I would watch them and take care of them. I would even buy toys for them. Like, I loved animals. I always watched, like, Animal Planet. And I got to high school, in my freshman year, we were picking out electives, and I was sitting down with my advisor, and she's like, all right, Olivia, like, what do you want to do for electives? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I really would love to be a veterinarian. And she's like, you don't want to do that. Oh my gosh. She literally said, you really think that you're going to go out on a farm and be with cows and horses? Like, that's what you're going to have to do as a vet. And I was like, well, yeah. And she's like, okay, you're not going to want to do that. And just like completely like
That's a dream
crushed my
killer.
dreams.
This is a guidance counselor?
This was my advisor and my homeroom teacher.
Wow.
I still remember her name. I won't say it though.
Oh my gosh. So what did she tell you to do?
I don't even remember. I think I ended up going with like a marketing class,
Yes.
which was fine. But
Yeah. So then how did you get into being a flight attendant?
let's see. So right after COVID, this was probably like, I think the beginning of 2021. I just really wanted to travel more. And I remember looking at jobs that you could travel with. And I was like, this is really cool. Like I would love to be a flight attendant. And I actually looked into it right after college. But whenever I graduated, it was in May. And at the time, like they only would hire, I think like once in January and like once in the middle of the year. And so it was in May and they weren't hiring again till January, the carrier I was looking at. So then I kind of just like, I ended up getting a job with Beachy.
Oh, that's right.
The store Beachy.
Yeah.
And opening a store in Nashville and helped them open it.
Yeah, that store was huge.
Yeah.
Was that the first brick and mortar that they opened, Vici?
It was the third.
The third? Okay.
Yeah, so they had 2 in California. They had
Got it.
1 in San Francisco, and they let us go out there and like work there for 2 weeks and like learn everything.
Yeah.
And then we opened it up in Nashville, and it was like a huge hit. It's still there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I got that job and like ran with that, and then just never ended up doing anything with flight attendant. And then 2021, I started looking into it, but at the time, no one was really hiring because it was kind of like still the end of COVID. Yeah. And so finally I had like the job on Indeed. I had them like marked. So whenever they'd pop up, I would get the notification, and like 3 airlines were hiring, and I applied for all 3. And then the first one that got back to me, I went, did the interview and got it, and then started.
Wow. So do you like being a flight attendant?
Yes, I have loved it. There's definitely like some challenges.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen?
Oh, we always ask her this. I mean, of course, all the drunk people, I'm sure, on airplanes.
Do you feel safe on airplanes these days? Feels like they're falling apart, but that might be just Twitter.
I feel pretty safe on the airplanes. Yeah, I feel like they're always on maintenance. If you guys realize, like there's so many delays because they're always on maintenance. So I feel like they keep them up really well. So no, I don't feel like I get scared.
I know sometimes people are like, oh, I'm so pissed there's maintenance. I'm like, no, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we should check the parts.
Yeah, like you want them to do maintenance.
Someone threw up on her? Someone tried to kiss her?
Someone tried to kiss me.
Wait, someone tried to kiss you? We need this
Man or
story.
woman?
Yes, a man. Yes.
That's assault.
And I didn't realize that he was very drunk at first. Like I had kind of like spoken with him. Someone was in a seat, and then I had to help him figure out his seat and everything. And then like this is during the boarding process. And then I ended up talking. He was giving me weird looks, and I was like, is everything still okay? And then like I leaned down because he was trying to say something, and then he tried to kiss me.
Oh.
And I like went back, and I was like, okay. And then so I walked, and then I walked back up, and I told the other flight attendant. And then to get someone off the plane, you have to have like everyone in agreement. So the other flight attendants walked over to him, and they could tell he was drinking. So
You tried to kiss them too?
Did he get kicked off?
yeah, he got
Good.
removed.
Wow.
Because if
Forcefully?
I think he was really angry about it. I remember him throwing his hat at one of the flight attendants.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he was
man.
angry, but like he wasn't even supposed to be on the plane if he was under the influence. He was just so normal at first. He wasn't like making a big deal or anything. So
So he's probably on the no-fly list now.
maybe.
You have to do something pretty bad. I feel like that's pretty bad.
When you get on a no-fly list, is that by airline or is that like federal?
I think there's 2 different lists, but I think it's like by airline.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I think you're right.
I think I'm not positive, but I think I would have had, no, I'm not on the
I
list.
was like,
think
wow.
I'm not on one of those.
I think to get him on the list, I would have had to have told the gate agent that I wanted him on the list.
Okay.
Do you have the authority to do
think-
that?
That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Be nice to your flight attendants.
Yeah. Like a lot of flight attendants will like, especially whenever I first started flying, you had to wear like the masks and stuff.
Yeah.
And if like we had to make people wear them, and if someone like didn't comply, there were flight attendants that were like so over it, they'd be like, all right, just get the gate agent and have them removed. And I
Yeah.
would see them just people removed so easily. Like,
Man, I bet if you were, I mean, I know you were working like off the cusp of COVID, but I bet if you were working 2020, it's probably like a good thing that you didn't go into being a flight attendant and you went to Vici, because you
Yeah.
probably would have had some crazy stories.
for sure.
Right?
Yes. I feel like people say flying then was so different than
Yeah.
what it is now.
Wow.
What are the dynamics between like the crew of an airplane? Like, are you close with all of your flight attendants? Like, are the pilots like nice that, like, what are the internal dynamics that no one would know?
Yeah.
So usually when you're getting on a flight, you're like meeting your crew right then and there. Now, whenever I was based in Miami, it was like a smaller, like I think we had like 200 people who worked there, flight attendants. So you would work with the same people like quite a bit of times, like over and over. But whenever I was based in Atlanta, you could get on and meet your whole crew right then and there. So you're kind of like learning how to work with everyone right then. But it's kind of cool because if you had a problem with them, then like you might not ever fly with them again.
Yeah.
And we also have no fly list for flight attendants. So if you don't want to work with someone, you can put them on your no fly
Oh,
list.
I love that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
I never did that. I never had problems with anyone, but
good. I mean, I wouldn't think you would. I probably would, and I would use that.
But yeah, and then the pilots, like they're always pretty nice to the flight attendants and are very helpful, like always have our backs.
Are you still employed by the airline?
I'm currently still employed by them today. I'm not sure how.
Yeah. What is your plan for after marriage?
So I love flying, but it's just not doable when you're trying to like make a family. Not that we're trying to do that right now,
Yeah.
but you know, like, and have a relationship, like a strong relationship. It honestly is hard, especially when you're commuting. Because I was in whenever we were in Nashville, I was flying out of Nashville, commuting to Atlanta, and then working from there. So it was just like a ton of traveling. I think it's definitely doable. Like I have a ton of friends in the industry who are married with kids. It's doable, but it's just got to be something you really want to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any hacks or tips? Like when you fly, I don't know why this is, but every time I get off an airplane, I just feel blah. Like I feel like it's like the filtered air, or it's maybe like dehydrated. Do you have any, the bloating? Yes. Do you have any tips that like flight attendants use to feel better when they first land?
Good question.
Just drink a lot of water.
So it's all hydration.
Water. I always shower. Like I can't like go to bed without showering.
Right after.
Like I would get off the plane at like 2 a.m. and I'm still going to get in the shower.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason Liv liked me on our first date, because when she told me she was a flight attendant, I was talking about the theory of relativity. You ever seen the movie Interstellar?
Yes.
And how time moves differently on different planets?
Yeah.
When you're on an airplane, to a minute degree, it's doing that. So I told her she was a time traveler. She still doesn't, I think, really understand what I'm talking about. But
I still don't understand.
She's like, my boyfriend tells me I'm a time traveler.
So when you're flying, because you're moving so fast, time's moving a little bit differently, like a little bit than here on Earth. So,
So you're a time traveler.
yeah, and she loved that
He
story.
wouldn't let this concept go for like
She's
a
like,
month.
please keep telling me it.
That's why
Every
she's
time we
not
hear
going
it,
to
You're like
quit.
looking at your watch. You're like, this is our first day. We've been talking about this for an hour.
Well, an hour for me, not for you.
Right up there. Okay, this podcast is sponsored by Cozy Earth. As y'all know, I've spent a lot of time in bed the last month or so as I deal with pregnancy exhaustion and nausea. Let me tell you, my sheets are what make my bed my safe haven. Cozy Earth sheets have a 10-year warranty, and they're made from viscose from bamboo, making them temperature regulating and breathable, perfect for hot summers. Not only do I love these sheets, but so does Jordan. We had to order an extra set because we couldn't wait for them to get out of the wash. Visit CozyEarth.com to enjoy 30% off or use code AUSTIN at checkout. And after placing an order, select podcast in the survey and then select de-influence in the drop-down menu that follows. One of my favorite kid brands is Haya, the pediatrician-approved superpowered chewable children's vitamin. They spent 3 years curating top pediatricians, nutritionists, scientists, and parents to formulate a super-powered chewable made with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, while also including a blend of 12 fruits and vegetables. The result is Haya, a daily children's vitamin that's supercharged to help fill in the gaps, and always with zero added sugar and zero gummy junk, so you can be confident your kids are getting the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. They now offer a kids daily vitamin, a kids daily probiotic, and a kids bedtime essentials vitamin. I love knowing that when I give these to Stella and Stratton, there aren't those terrible ingredients in there that actually end up doing more harm than good. I'm also a sucker for good packaging, and Haya's branding is super cute and fun for the kiddos. You get these cool bottles with stickers with your first order, and then they send you eco-friendly refills every month. Of course, I have a code for y'all. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to HayaHealth.com/DannyAustin. This deal is not available on the regular website. Go to Haya Health, that's HIYAHEALTH, DANIAUSTIN and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Support for De-Influence comes from Seed. Before I got pregnant with baby number 3, y'all know I was on my health journey, and Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic is the gut supplement I've been trusting for quite some time. The daily supplement benefits your gut, skin, and heart health in just 2 capsules a day. Seed's DSO1 was developed in collaboration with Seed's scientific board and based on their foundational work in probiotics and the microbiome. With new clinical trials and breakthrough research published in top scientific journals, Seed's probiotic research, development, and innovation programs make DSO1 a product you know you can trust. Seed is great for those looking to support and maintain their gut health, especially as the summer fun is quickly approaching. Trust your gut with Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. Go to seed.com/DInfluence and use the code 25DInfluence to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic at seed.com/DInfluence, code 25DInfluence. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, consult your doctor before taking.
Good job. Thank you.
So I have a question. So where do you guys, like, you are now creating content, okay? Do you like it so far?
Be honest.
Yeah.
It's like a love-hate relationship. I love that I get to work with Landon. Mm-hmm. That's been a lot of fun. But sometimes I feel like I'm not as outgoing. And Landon,
as this clan?
Yes.
The Austins? Yes.
I feel like I'm kind of more like reserved, so I'm trying to like get better about like getting out of my comfort zone. But it's super fun.
Do you feel that way when you're on camera or like in person? You know what I mean? Like, are you saying like not outgoing enough for like when you're creating content?
Yeah, or maybe just like, even like if I'm by myself filming something, like I would prefer Landon to be with me, like having like a dynamic where we're both together.
Yeah.
Rather than like by myself filming myself.
Has
Has
it been fun for y'all's relationship to create content together?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's been really a lot of fun. We might have butted heads a couple times.
It's when we first started dating, and like I would post on Instagram and stuff, and she would be in things, but I think you were kind of getting used to it. And then I remember the first time you filmed yourself, I almost had a tear of joy. I was like, what is this? Who's she talking to? And I watched it like, you did this?
Was it in the Tarte concealer in your car?
No, it was right after we got engaged.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, right after we got engaged.
Yeah.
And Landon was like, okay, Liv, you should go out and film how you feel in the kitchen. And I was like, okay, I can do it.
I can do this.
And then I was out there, and then I was like, he has to go in the other. I
had to leave the house.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that. I still
that.
make Jordan do that, just so you know.
Yeah, she's like, can you leave?
I've been doing this for over 10 years. I still do that.
Yeah, I'm like, I can just feel him like listening to me.
It's like, you're doing great.
Yeah. Keep it up, sweetie.
Yeah.
Well, what's so funny is I don't think a lot of people know that Landon was the OG content creator of our family.
That's right.
So when I was in college, Landon was creating like vlogs, right? Yep. And so he would do like a daily vlog. He would post his music online. And I remember walking by his bedroom, and he would be vlogging, or you do like live streams, and I would have such secondhand embarrassment. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even in the video. And I'd walk by and be like, oh my God, cringe. Because I'm like, this guy, all his friends are online. I'm like, you need to get out of the house.
So what if
How old were y'all during this?
I started when I was about 22, 23.
I mean, you were early.
Oh yeah. I made my first YouTube video in 2007, and YouTube was founded in 2005.
Yes.
And it went viral. It got 800,000 views in one night, which was like absurd.
Yeah, at the time.
It was a cover of John Mayer playing Chocolate Rain by Tay Zonday.
Yes.
And I hid my face, so everyone thought I was John Mayer, which was like the best like compliment ever. And so I loved it. And then fast forward, I did Doritos Crash Super Bowl, which is an online competition. And to promote the competition, I would make YouTube videos. And one of my videos got featured on the front page of YouTube back when YouTube only had 5 videos. Like it was like 5 videos vertically, and I was like the third one down.
It was a big deal.
And it launched like my career on YouTube.
So then I was in college, and I'm studying to be a physical therapist. And Landon's out in LA. He's traveling all over the country, doing shows, doing YouTube videos. And then we would go on family vacations, or I'd come home for winter break, and he would put me in his vlogs. And he would just do like a daily vlog. Remember, hello there.
And welcome. How'd you get here? I don't really know, but I'm
they
glad
still
you're
online?
here. This is my vlog.
Yeah.
But what's cool is we would do like sibling tags, or like I remember we went and we tried all the baby food, and we went to the grocery store, and I'm like 23. How old are you at that time? Like 30?
Oh my gosh, shut up.
We
I was
went
like, literally, how old was I?
You're 4 years younger, so 19. So
I was
we went to the
18, I
grocery
think.
store to buy all this baby food. And I kid you not, these people thought we were young parents because we had so much baby food. I remember them looking at us. And then my favorite video we did, I actually privated a lot of these. We went and blew up fireworks. Remember I had a big bucket full of fireworks?
I forgot about that.
Like hundreds of dollars worth of fireworks. And we just threw a match and ran away, and it exploded. It was awesome.
I totally forgot about that.
And we just found a random field in the middle of nowhere.
Yes,
it was
we were
so
getting
fun.
so much hate for doing that now.
I
but
know.
yeah, we used to do the most random things. We had like a burping contest one time.
You won.
But like no one was doing this in Texas. None of my friends knew about this. Then there was like this little community of girls that Landon knew out in LA that were like doing this full time. And he was like, you should vlog like these girls like Miss Glamorazzi, Ingrid Nelson,
Nikki and Blair Fowler.
Nikki and Blair Fowler.
All those girls.
And so like I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. But I started making videos like in my dorm room, and I just didn't tell anybody because I was like so embarrassed. Being in a sorority, being in college, like I just could not tell anyone. But it's just so funny because a lot of people don't know Landon was actually like the OG creator, because now I feel like we're always like trying to force him to create content.
And then you went down this path of more like music.
Yeah. I was like a musician who marketed himself through making content. And so I would create music videos, I'd do original songs, covers, and I would tour. But then every Tuesday I'd release a vlog. Or like when I was on tour, I'd release a daily vlog, which is essentially like Instagram stories in a long form video on YouTube, horizontal. And it was really fun, and it would like really help launch my music career.
But then you took a break from, I would say, creating content.
Yeah.
Like it moved more towards like music videos.
Yes. And then I went into the shadows kind of as you guys were taking off, and I just focused on music, producing stuff. And I still would release music videos, but I quit vlogging.
Yeah.
And then I more recently got back into posting.
Why
videos.
did you quit vlogging? Was it very similar to like why Danny quit?
And
vlogging?
I have one question too. Why did you not get on Instagram? Because I feel like at the time, TikTok wasn't a thing. YouTube was kind of like, people were transitioning from YouTube to Instagram. Like, why didn't you make that transition?
So I remember I did open an Instagram, and I would post photos, and I'll never forget my proudest moment. This is over 10 years ago. Old school Instagram. I like posted a photo that made it on the popular page or something, and I thought I'd made it. But like there were no stories or anything. Yeah. But I'm like, am I going to take a picture of myself every day? Not really. I honestly thought Instagram was for girls. I was like, what kind of pictures am I going to post? I'm making music, whatever. And so we used to do this thing called like Vlogmas or Vala, where you would vlog every day of the month. And I would do those, and I remember dreading them. By the 30th day, hating my life, being like, what am I going to post today in a 5 to 10 minute video?
Yeah.
It was so hard that I grew to hate it. And then I would just make music, and I resented vlogging these long form videos. Stories are so much better because it's a snippet. It's not your whole day. It's so funny when people to me are like, wow, you're just like with your dog all day. And I'm like, no, you saw 30 seconds of my day with Marty, not knowing that I'm working and making music and making calls. Okay. To be fair, those snow cones are amazing. We made snow cones yesterday. It was awesome.
So you took a break, and now you're back. Does it feel good to be back?
I like doing this better because, one, I have Liv to do it with.
Yes.
I've always at my core loved attention. So
it's an Austin trait.
It's an Austin thing.
Which anyone.
Which is why I put my life online, and then people would watch. I'm like, this is very addicting. It's like a drug. And so doing Instagram stories with Liv is so fun because it's our life.
Yes.
And we can do it together as opposed to me by myself. And it enables us to do that in a little bit and then live our lives outside of that as well. So
I felt that YouTube burnout. I still have PTSD when like sometimes people are like, you need to start your YouTube channel again. I'm like, no.
So that camera right there that's filming us, if I grabbed that camera and pointed it at Danny, she'd freeze up.
Yeah.
If I pointed an iPhone at Danny, she'd be like, I'm a star. Like, it's the craziest PTSD.
Yeah. It represents like this era in my life that I just hated.
Probably unhealth, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of those daily vloggers, like who's still around from that era?
I looked them up, and I don't really want to say any names, but it's changed so much.
Yes.
Like people who used to kill it on YouTube. I can't think of anyone now who's still killing it from our day.
You know what's so crazy is that there's another transition happening. And I asked you about this before the podcast, but you didn't watch the Kai, I might be saying his name wrong, Kai Cenat live stream.
It's so funny.
So what's happening now is like these Twitch streamers, it's mostly male, I would say. These Twitch streamers are doing like marathon live streams. So Kai Cenat had a bunch of his friends over and Kevin Hart over. So this is like a normal kid.
Kai they're part of it's called Amp House.
Yeah, an Amp House.
And they each have like 10 million followers.
Yeah.
So it started in gaming, and so people would do like film themselves playing Call of Duty and then like film themselves while they're playing, so you could watch their gameplay and their personality, like Ninja, right? Yeah. And then what it's doing now is it's carrying over to lifestyle. So he had this sleepover with Kevin Hart.
So funny.
And if you, I can't explain it because it won't be as funny, but like go to TikTok, anyone who's listening to this, and type in Kai Cenat Kevin Hart sleepover. It is the funniest moment of the internet I have seen in years.
It's a little inappropriate, just so you know.
So funny. It is so like wholesome. And so there's this new trend happening where people are now live streaming, right? And so the way they make money through that is they'll have all these people who subscribe and then tune into their live stream, and these kids will watch their live stream for hours.
That's
and
amazing.
It feels like you're hanging out with them.
900,000 views.
But their viewers have to be kids, because who else has the time to watch that
Exactly.
always?
It's a lot of kids that are, probably middle school or high school, but still, and I think that that era, like the Aiden Ross, the Kai Cenat, they're going to be so burnt out after a couple years. It's going to be insane.
I have to say, like, I think that was one thing that was very hard for me, and probably you too, was our demo was younger. I mean, yours was younger females, and like when I'm creating videos in college, my girls that were watching me were like in 6th grade, 7th grade, And so all my friends, like, they didn't understand, like, Danny, why are you making these like really cheesy videos? I'm like, well, my demo's way younger. And I felt like I was always trying to like be this like person that I really wasn't. And that was just like the YouTube culture of it, because it leans so young. And then I feel like when Instagram stories came out, I was like, this is myself. And I just feel like I could be myself and share my current stage of life. And I think that's why there was more like sustainability in it, because I wasn't so exhausted.
But I would say like we struggle, and I don't know if y'all struggle with this, but like we struggle now with just like this. The internet is so youthful, right? So you have all these TikTokers who are living lives that are totally not lives that we can live anymore because we have 2 kids. And so there's kind of this pressure that we feel of like, well, these kids are going out and putting firecrackers in the middle of a road and then running away. Like we can't do that anymore. And so there's this kind of pressure that we feel. Do y'all ever feel the pressure to like keep up with the youth of the internet?
No.
Really?
I don't think I know what the youth of the internet is doing.
Okay, so you're removed from it.
Yeah, I feel like we focus so much on what our day-to-day lives are, and she's so good at like finding things she likes with outfits and beauty and stuff that she's kind of inundated in. And then we film the little tidbits of our lives with our dogs. And like maybe if we were smarter, we'd keep up with trends and see what's going on. But we're just so inward facing, and I think that's a way for us to protect ourselves from the FOMO of like what everyone else is doing. But it's funny to take a step back. You mentioned Twitch. I've been doing this so long. I remember when it was Justin TV. And there was like no one on there. And I would do live concerts online. And I would play these shows and people would come watch. And then one day it became Twitch, but it was such a long time ago. And I'll never forget, I wanted to start a website where you could do online concerts. I'm like, this is such a good idea. So I like met with a developer and we tried to make this thing. And in the process of doing that, we ended up not having funding or be able to do it. But a guy I was Facebook friends with, he would see me do these streams, and he launched like a competitor site to that.
Whoa.
It was crazy. And I'm
is it still around?
I can't say that I inspired him, but I only have 200 Facebook friends, and I would post these concerts. And then a year later, he launches this site. And I'm like, I wonder if it sparks something. And he was kind of like a C-list celebrity. I don't know. I don't want to do that. But
it's funny because I think Joe Rogan's podcast, which is now the biggest podcast in the world, started on Justin TV. It was just a live stream that he would do. Yeah, and he was like back in the day.
You were trying to get me on Justin TV.
Yeah, it was awesome because back then it was a very cult following.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as big as Twitch, but you'd have all these followers and you have thousands of people watching you. And I just play songs and they take requests, and it was awesome.
What are some of the dynamics that have been introduced into y'all's relationship being a content couple versus a non-content couple?
There's a lot.
Yeah, like, because we're kind of like...
I mean, I think it's interesting because everything we do, you get DMs about it. So things to us that are mundane or just kind of goofy with our dogs, hearing people's opinions on that, whether good or bad or interesting.
Yeah.
So it makes us have to be careful about what we say or do online. And I feel like that's kind of interesting because I think this is a world that Liv's not used to. Because when I met her, I remember looking at her Instagram and being like, oh, wow, she posts reels and she'll do these cute designs with flowers and stuff, not noticing that she's never talking. She's always just kind of like just doing these cute little videos where she's smiling. And I love it. I'm like enamored by it. But then when we start dating and we get engaged and we're like, okay, I love to talk. I love to tell people what's going on. That was a new thing for her and kind of a daunting thing, but she's handled it so well. But I think we both kind of enjoyed pushing those boundaries and saying some things or whatever that you get a little bit of bite back. And that's new. And I will say this, very impressed with how you've handled that. Cause I thought the first time she got hate, she would shut down and be like, I'm done. But she's like, eats it up. It's the best.
I have noticed that you're way tougher than
way
you
tougher.
seem. Like,
You might be tougher than me, honestly.
Yeah, no, I honestly think Liv is tougher than you. Like, Liv will get, like, she'll
I'm
show me a
pretty tough these
DM,
days,
and,
but-
like, Jordan would, I would show you a DM about, like, the Grinch belly or something, and you fold, babe.
The Grinch belly was hard. I would sit a certain way and my belly would do the Grinch
It happens to the
belly.
best of us. Mr. Grudge Pillar.
But Liv will show me, like, mean DMs. I'm like, ow. And she's like, oh, it's funny.
They
like,
call her a trad wife. You know what that is?
oh, wait,
Yeah,
yeah,
of
that's
course,
not
we
a
talked
bad
about
thing.
that.
That's a
I'm
compliment.
Like,
That's a compliment.
Me too.
Dumb trad wife.
So what are some of the common narratives that pop up with you guys as of late? Like, what are the main themes that you guys are constantly trying to combat?
I think that I mean, I'm not trying to combat it. I think we just
Yeah.
lean into it. But like with her outfits and cooking and stuff, they think she's like traditional. And for those who don't know,
Do
it's
they
a-
call you domineering then? And controlling?
No, I don't think I've heard that, but I have heard like, you got to get a real job.
Oh, about you?
I was like, I got a job. Okay.
What is your job for the people that want to
So
know?
my career has always been a little bit of a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of like Tornado in that way. So like initially when I graduated college, I leaned heavily into YouTube and music. So I'm doing that. And then I started buying real estate. I have a bunch of rental properties that I manage. So now, fortunately, I'm able to live off a lot of the residuals I've done for music, a lot of songs I've created. And my real estate, I manage that. I have an Airbnb in Nashville now, long-term rentals that I do as well. And then I'm also, I don't talk about it a lot online, but I do a little bit of sales on the side, 10 hours a week.
So kind of like an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I've always been a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm always doing things. And there's things I even do that I won't go online and talk about, not because they're shady. Just,
I feel like I find out a new thing he does like
All the time.
At least
You're very
once a
secretive
month.
about what you do. I will not lie.
Yeah.
And you're very tight with your money.
I'm not,
But I think that I've always...
Tell him the story.
Lena's always been very frugal.
no, I think I'm practical and realistic.
He's always like, even when we were kids, okay, like our parents would, we get allowance or something, like $20.
'Cause I invest it.
Lana would go find a way to invest it. I'd be like, I'm going to the mall.
I try and live, here's my thing. I try and live off the least amount of money I have to and invest every cent I make that I can.
Do you follow the FIRE mindset? I've asked you this before.
I follow it, but I'm not looking to retire soon, but I want to be in a position where it's like if I want to, I can.
FIRE is like financially independent, retire early, and it's kind of a lifestyle. A lot
Yes.
of like developers are FIRE, and what it means is like you take all of your cash and you put it into investable assets, and then you can live off of those.
Yes.
I feel like
investable assets.
That's what you do with
Yeah,
all
that's
our
what
money.
I'm very much a FIRE mindset.
I'm always
And-
like, where's all our money?
and that's why it's
gone.
like, I'd be curious, like, have you decided to retire?
So my favorite thing, and this gets a little businessy, but I could talk about this for hours, but I love passive income. So
Yes.
that's why I love music, because you make it once and then God willing, you can make money off it forever.
Right.
And so that's a big part of my pie. And then investing money into real estate's the same way, and investing in the market and other things. I like living off money I already
passive,
have.
yeah.
Because your money can make you
Can
money.
you give an example of like, you don't have to use one of your songs, but like, let's just say someone has a viral song on Spotify.
Right.
Like how much money are you really making from one
That's
song?
a great question.
So it depends. Every platform pays differently. I've made the most off Spotify, but they're one of the worst payers. So like they pay about $4 to $5 grand every million streams.
Okay.
And so like I've had a significant amount of streams there, which is nice. But then Apple Music pays double that. Or Amazon pays more than that as well. So you could have a song blow up on Amazon and that does terrible on Spotify and vice versa. So all my songs are on 20 different platforms. And like there was a time I literally got called by a label out of Vietnam. They said I was the third most listened to artist in Ho Chi Minh,
Wow.
in Vietnam, for like a year. And I'm like, this is so weird. And it's like, you just don't know where these songs are going to go.
Wow.
You know?
So like you're saying people could, like you could have made $100,000 off a song that you made 5 years ago just from like the residual.
Yes. And still.
Especially still.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's forever.
Yeah. There's like investment bankers who will come in and try and buy your catalog from you. And so they'll give you a 5X on what you made over the past year.
But you just want to keep the passive income.
I keep it. Like I've never sold because I'm like, if you want it, there must be value in it.
Are you at a place where you could, this is a complicated question because it depends on y'all's lifestyle expenses and you're about to get married and that will change. Right. You can't be a bachelor anymore. But if you wanted to retire tomorrow, could you do that?
To answer that question, it all depends about lifestyle, like you said.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
like, what does that really mean?
I'll say this, it's taken a lot of the pressure off. Like I just kind of like work at my own pace. Granted, I'm always working, but God forbid if everything shut down tomorrow, I'd be fine.
What do you do with the, like you make sounds of like rain and stuff?
Oh yeah.
How do you make money off that?
So I have, if you're someone who needs sound, like if you get distracted while you're sleeping, you have a hard time sleeping, I have this thing on Spotify and Amazon and all the stores called Rain Diamond Sounds. Rain Diamonds Sounds. Look it
Diamonds
up.
with an S.
It's rain sounds. It's white noise. It's pink noise for babies. It's brown noise. I have it all.
Oh my gosh, I might use your pink noise.
Man, those people that like, because I use this one like white noise for Stella when she in Stratton when they're babies. Like I always go to the same one, and it probably has like 13 billion.
Use mine. Rain Diamond Sounds. If you want a sound, DM me at Landon Austin. I'll make you a sound.
So those sounds can go viral.
They can. That's not like that's a hobby for me, like creating that stuff. And that's something that initially I started making because a buddy turned me onto it. He had a sleep machine. I'm like, I like this machine. Let me put it on Spotify so I can loop it all night. And I have all the sounds.
They just loop.
Yeah, and it's got this little diamond guy I created with eyeballs. I'm going to make merch, so I'll hook you up.
Oh my gosh.
What do y'all think you want your lifestyle to look like after you get married? Do you want to live on land? Do you want to...
Where do you want to live? How many kids do you want?
Do you want them quickly? Landon, I will say before she even answers, were you scared when we told you that we were having 3 kids?
I was like, after all we've been through to this
point. The fear on your face, it was either genuine shock or fear, and I cannot know the difference.
I feel like you were shocked. I feel like shocked. When I looked over, like he wouldn't, like words weren't coming out.
He was flabbergasted.
It's like another?
I was like, no, I think it's awesome. I think it's very exciting. I don't know what I was thinking in that moment. I think I was thinking about what I was going to have for lunch, honestly. And I was so caught off guard. I was like, cheeseburger.
To me, this was my theory, is that because we announced that we were having 3 kids, I felt in your mind that you were like, that you were like, this is going to make Liv want to have kids way quicker. And I think that was the moment that you got scared.
Was it that true? Deep?
It's so funny because I think y'all are way overthinking this. Yeah. I literally think I was zoned out. And then I was like, oh, wow. That's nice.
That's funny.
I think it's awesome, but...
Well, we also had like teased that we were going to, like, I've always said I want like 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah, I've always known that.
So I don't think it was like a shocker.
But I think you're at 3 now after this pregnancy.
Although I don't know, Bunjesta. Bunjesta's been like my saving grace.
Yeah, I could maybe do next week we'll have an ad for Bunjesta.
Yeah.
So what do y'all want your lifestyle to look like?
I picture us having like some land.
How much land? 20 acres?
She wants us to get a boat.
No, not 20 acres.
I want to get a boat too.
Yes.
I've always pictured my family on a boat, like a lake house.
Can y'all get a boat and can we use your boat?
No, boats are like the worst investment
They say
ever.
the happiest day of your life is the day you get a boat.
Yep.
And the day you sell your boat. The 2 happiest days.
We could just get one that we could all fit on.
Yeah, we'll let them get it.
Have like
I don't know. Jordan has this like record of like breaking water toys like that. Where you broke the jet ski.
Yeah, I did. Uncle Brett's jet
you
ski.
broke his jet ski?
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
That's hard.
I went to shallow waters and it just filled with mud.
Oh, it still makes it's cringe.
Okay, so you imagine yourself with a boat on acreage, maybe like 5 acres?
Sure.
I'm like an acre is good for me.
Yeah.
Where, geographically where?
Nashville, probably.
Okay, Nashville back.
It's like a good
center
with all of our family. Yeah. Like my family's really close. I have family who live in Nashville. Bunch of friends.
We're definitely going to be in Nashville long term.
Jordan's begging to go to Nashville.
Y'all will be
begging. Leapers Fort.
I love Leapers Fort. Thompson Station, Franklin, all that. Right now we're city folk. Not like how you grew up, but
why did y'all Move to Dallas.
To be closer to y'all.
It's like, they're like, you told us to. Yeah. They're like, you made us. What are you talking about?
We didn't have a choice.
What's the biggest difference between Dallas and Nashville that you found?
I feel just like the size of it. I feel like Dallas just seems so big to me, and maybe it's because I didn't really grow up here, but I just never know where I am when I'm driving, and it just feels so big.
The traffic, the drivers are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been nice being close to you guys in Tornado and Mark.
Yeah. I think the only thing we like about Dallas is that we're close to family.
Dude, same.
I think everything else we don't like.
That's how I feel about Dallas. I mean, but then there's like, it's like we've been here our whole lives. Dallas really is great. I think it's just like when you've been here forever, you want to experience something else. But like, I do think it's like, and we have like sports teams and there's always something to do. Like, I feel like sometimes we don't really like appreciate that side of Dallas. But I would say like the main reason I don't like it is like the weather. It's so freaking hot.
Yes.
And besides like the events, there's nothing to do like on the weekdays, you know, when you're with your family and just like wanting to hang. So you've liked Dallas. When are y'all moving back to Nashville?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe December?
December, maybe?
Yeah.
We kind of skipped over this. How many kids do you want?
Can y'all hear my stomach growling?
No. Oh my gosh, the camera will though.
She grabbed her stomach right when you said that.
know,
I'm like,
right
oh
when
my
he said
gosh. Actually, this is why y'all changed your name. It's a shotgun wedding.
I really did ask that. And you go,
Well, actually, sorry, but I could just hear my stomach growling.
It's just
Hopefully this
indigestion.
won't pick it up. I feel like we want, like, he said the other day, at least 2 kids.
at least 2.
I could picture us having more than that. But I feel like kind of like you, if I'm nauseous, like I do not like being nauseous. And I feel like that could scare me away from having like a 3rd. But
Not everyone's like that, just so you know. And both of my pregnancies, like, Stratton, I wasn't nauseous at all. So like every pregnancy is different.
yeah.
So don't be scared.
Do you think that you'll be kind of like a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah, I think I'll work still, but I would love to like be very invested in my kids' lives and just.
I would like for you not to be flying away when we have kids. That's my goal.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to do that.
Like,
either.
mom's gone again. Who wants hot dogs for dinner?
Oh my gosh.
Hot dogs and snow cones, baby.
Do you have any more questions before we play a game?
No, you can play a game.
What's the game?
I don't know.
Heads up, 7-up?
It says, we're going to list off some scenarios or situations, and you guys have to decide which of you it describes.
Okay.
Who is most likely to leave dishes in the sink?
Are we pointing? Or I guess we have to talk because it's a podcast.
Yeah.
Landon.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it common?
I do pretty good. I clean them every other day. Yeah, I cleaned them this morning.
You did. He did do it this morning.
Who initiated the first kiss?
Me, 100%. I went in for it.
Wait,
He
what
did.
date? On what date?
On the 3rd date,
It's a 3rd date.
I was opening her car door and I was like, hey, let me grab. Oh.
And it was just like
Just like
there
the guy
was
on
no
the plane.
time for it. Would just happened.
Yep.
It just happened. Who is most likely to stay on the dance floor all night?
Me.
Oh, you.
Really?
Yeah.
You were a dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
A break dancer?
You wish.
You know what? In 5th grade, I was on a hip hop team.
Yes. That's amazing.
Man, y'all's kids are going to be talented.
So talented.
Our kids can't touch their toes. It's hard. Who is most likely to take the dogs out in the middle of the night?
Me. What?
Me.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
You're sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Why are they going in the middle of the night? Why are they going, like, what are we doing that about?
Okay.
For?
Me.
Okay, business hours
This
is
is
me.
very telling for your children, just so you know. that.
Okay.
Who is most likely to order random must-haves on Amazon?
Probably me.
Yeah, that's exhibit A right here.
Who is most likely to cry on the wedding day?
Me.
Liv.
Are you a crier?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
She's a sweet soul.
Oh, we need that in our family
Oh yeah, I'm
too.
definitely
Yeah, we need
a
more
crier. Like
emotion.
at church, if there's like a good song, I'm like,
Yeah.
like it's embarrassing. Honestly, I hate it. I hate that about me.
You're like, Liv, get it together.
yeah, I got it from my dad. He
Aw.
cries over everything.
Dad is a sweetheart.
That's all
Yeah,
dad,
this
too.
this side of the family, they're pretty disconnected from all of their emotions.
That's not true. It just depends what time of the month it is.
Yeah.
Who is the better cook?
Probably me. We cook.
We cook kind of
very-
separate because she doesn't
Yeah.
eat meat.
Yeah.
And I can only have so much kale. Okay.
Yeah. We cook separate too because he
Yeah.
only eats meat. And I just like, yeah.
Carnivore diet?
No, but just a lot of protein.
Yeah.
Bulking up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
Tell them my metrics.
Oh, Jordan this morning successfully hit 12.4%
12.3% body fat.
Are you trying to drop or get
Wow.
bigger?
Down from 18 in January.
Really?
He's lost 20
I've lost
pounds.
20 pounds since January.
Who's laughing about that Grinch belly now?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
You guys just motivate me.
Yeah.
Grinch belly's gone.
That is crazy. He's lost 20 pounds since January.
Wow.
That's
That's
incredible.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Who is most likely to panic about their kids wearing sunscreen?
Probably Landon.
Yeah.
It's very fair skin.
I've also had skin cancer as a survivor, I would say. Let's lather them up.
Would you be like, who's going to be more strict?
Probably me. About different things, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like you'll make sure their clothes are steamed and I'll make sure that they're like
I
at
feel like-
school on time.
I feel like I'll be pretty strict mom because I feel like my parents weren't very strict.
They weren't?
No.
Wait, you'll be a strict mom. What about the way you and Marlo, your dog?
Yeah. Well, he's
Dog
perfect. So
Okay,
That's what you're going to say about your kids.
let's
too.
talk about her dog real quick. I love Marlo to death.
you
But-
can't call him out like this.
He doesn't love me exactly. And she's like, oh, it's just with you for some reason, as he's trying to bite her. He literally bit Tornado last week.
It's only when you move him.
It's only
So when you look at him, he's like, "Arr."
He doesn't like to be moved when he's sleeping.
Yeah, he
That's
bit
when
Tornado.
Who do you think is more strict between us?
I think that it's very similar. It's like you'll be strict about probably their behavior, and then I'm strict about like their schedule.
Yeah, I'm definitely becoming like the cool mom though.
Yeah, I guess you are.
No, Stella will
I guess you are.
like Stella ate Cheez-Its this morning for breakfast, and like I was like, oh, Daddy's coming. She's like, it'll be our secret, and I was like, okay, yeah, don't tell him.
Funny.
Okay, who is most likely to fall asleep during a movie?
Liv. She doesn't watch movies. There's only been one movie I've been able to get her to watch, and it's Disturbia. I think it's because Shia LaBeouf was in it, but
That's
she
a
will
scary
not.
movie.
She won't
Yeah.
watch movies with me. She falls asleep or opens her phone.
That's so random.
I
Why
feel like
Disturbia?
Shia
I'm telling you,
LaBeouf.
man.
And I
It's
don't
those eyes.
like love scary movies, but like I do love them at the same time, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I don't like how they make me feel after because
See?
I'll be scared for days after, but they grab my attention where I like will watch it all the way through, and then Landon's like pieced out and won't even be watching it, but I'll be like, no, we have to stay.
That's
up and
why you
watch
need to
it.
see Sixth Sense. You're gonna love it.
Well, what I found is like if you're gonna have a movie night, you have to start it early. Like you can't be watching a movie at 9 o'clock at night. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall
Yeah.
asleep. Who is the better driver?
Me.
Definitely Landon.
You have a Tesla. Drive this off.
I'm
very true.
legitimately scared when she drives. Very scared.
That's what
I used
Jordan
to
always
be a speeder.
I try not to
scooter
let her
Speed.
drive.
Yeah.
said. Really?
Yeah.
I can't see you breaking any rules.
Like I probably shouldn't say this, but I almost got my license taken away because I had so many tickets at once.
Oh my
Really?
God.
I
Yes.
would speed. Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't
It
know
was
why.
always like on the interstate when I was going from like Bowling Green, like from college to my hometown.
Yeah.
I would like just like, cause it was only like an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, I bet I can get it down to like
Oh,
an hour and 15.
Okay.
Funny.
Have you heard this thing
But
where
now I'm not like that. I'm a very safe driver now.
well, I don't know if y'all saw our video. She gets motion sick when I drive.
Yeah.
And it's only when I got my Tesla, and a lot of people are DMing us articles about how Teslas are making people motion sick because of their regenerative braking. And that's my favorite car I've ever owned, and I think I'm like a fanboy now. But when you take your foot off the gas, it immediately brakes.
Yes.
And you have to
Yeah.
be very delicate because it feels like a roller coaster.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't like that.
I love it.
I guess you get used to it, but oh my gosh, like mom driving that thing.
Yeah, no, like it makes me so car sick.
You know, Miles just got he got the email that he gets to get a Cybertruck.
Oh, I
now.
want that so
Really?
bad.
Yeah,
That's so fun.
I think he's getting it.
I think
wanna
they're
give,
cool.
No, I want to give her my Tesla so I can get a Cybertruck when we get married, but she doesn't
She's
want
like,
it.
Well, if you
Get
have
sick.
babies soon, you're gonna need a bigger
I'm
car
gonna
than
need,
that.
that's what I said. I'm gonna need an SUV.
You and the babies can use the Cybertruck. I'm
You
just-
the babies.
You and the babies. Who is most likely to spill on themselves at dinner?
That's probably me.
Probably
You do spill on yourself a lot.
That is true. That might be like pretty
That's
equal.
even. That's even. Yeah.
Who is going to be the fun parent?
Me and Landon.
Yeah, we're
Probably
both.
both.
We'll both
Yeah.
be
Both.
fun. They'll both be fun.
Who is most likely to be a PTA parent?
What's PTA?
Okay, so Liv.
Yeah.
Probably me.
What is that?
Yeah.
Parent-teacher
Parent
organization.
teacher, yeah.
Oh.
Parent teacher association.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm good with that.
Just so you know, I was in the PTA.
Were you?
Well, no, I was in the pre-PTA.
Yeah.
After I had Stella, because you can get in the PTA like before your kids are even old enough. It's called, and you basically get together like with your community. It's just like all these moms, but it's just like really to just like
No,
hang out.
people
And
like moms who have like newborns are like already campaigning for the presidential race 4 years from
I
now.
had all these like
Oh,
moms
my
that were
God.
like trying to buddy up with me, so I would vote for them. It was kind of
That
fun.
needs to be a reality show.
I know.
Do
It
y'all
is.
feel like this is a Dallas thing though? Or do you feel like
I've
this is...
heard from other people who have grown up here that Dallas has gotten very, very bad when it comes to politics. Parent politics within schools, if that makes sense. So not politics within schools, but like it's gotten very difficult to get your kids into schools. Like there's kind of like an in-network. And so, yeah, it's pretty tough. I hope it's not like that in Nashville for when we move there, but you never know.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. I don't know.
I don't feel like it would be the same in Nashville.
Yeah.
I feel like Dallas is just
But
like,
Nashville's kind of exploding now, so maybe it will become
I'm sure
that.
there's always going to be elements of that, but Dallas, it's like so ingrained in the culture.
But it's just like luckily we don't have to worry about this because Danny's going to homeschool our kids.
Wow.
We can
She's-
homeschool our kids
it's her
together
lot in life,
when I
she
have
says.
kids.
Or how about you homeschool our kids and we'll have a co-op?
Okay.
I trust
that
you with
gonna
our children.
Okay, I can probably only do up to like first grade.
Yeah.
We gotta find someone.
Well, how can everyone find you guys on socials?
Add Olivia Austin, with the new last name.
That's right.
Not to be confused with the adult film star.
Yeah, not to be
Not the same person.
Not the same person.
At Landon Austin. You can find Rain Diamond Sounds on Spotify. That's all I got right now. Just Google
Thank you
us.
guys for coming today. I guess, are y'all going to play pickleball?
We canceled it.
Oh, you canceled it?
Yeah.
Oh, Mom was so
I
excited.
hurt my finger.
Oh, was
Is
that
that
a
a
wart?
wart?
It's a wart. I'm trying to let it heal.
That's what you've been picking this entire
No,
time?
I'm not picking it. I just got a thing on it. We're good.
You must have
Oh.
just done that because I was wondering what that was too.
Wait,
Did
can
you
I see that?
today?
It just, it
Or is that
removes
a
it. It's a
Band-Aid?
patch.
Man, I used to
I
get
thought
warts
that
all the
was the
time.
I
wart.
probably got this from you.
I know, I don't get them anymore. I haven't had them since like
She
college.
was a very warty child.
I was not. I used to get them though. Like this scar.
I
have
thought it was
seen
chicken
too.
pox.
Oh my gosh.
You
Anyway,
won't stop biting at it either.
I'm not biting it. I'm picking
Oh my
it.
gosh.
Oh,
my
man.
gosh.
man, Landon always was like a picker. You always pick things.
Let's play guitar,
Anyway, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Make sure you check out Landon and Olivia's channels on Instagram. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.